Hey there, Benji here, and in this video I'm going to teach you how to optimize your main photo for Amazon in order to stand out and get more sales. So let's jump in. So we're here on my laptop now, and I've typed in the keywords kids scissors for no reason in particular, but this is a niche that I have stumbled across, and I wanted to show you some major differences between bad photos and good photos, how I would improve the bad ones and make them stand out. And if I went into a niche like this, how I would make my photos different and brighter and bigger in order to beat out the competition. And you should be able to take a lot of key points from this one and apply it to the niche that you're in. So I typed in kid scissors. First thing I see is this top one up here, which is a sponsored ad. Is pretty good. It's a pack of 10 and they've got them sorted in a circle with a 10 pack over the top, which is their packaging. Now Amazon rules for photos, give it a quick Google, Amazon FBA photo rules or photo guidelines. You can't have anything in your photo that's not part of your product, and it's got to be on a white background. They're the two main ones. Again, Google it if you need all the information. You can see that this person's included their packaging in here. These ones are just the scissors. It's a 2-pack, so they've put 2 in the photo. These ones included their packaging as well. A little pink scissors here. It's $1.62, so definitely don't get into this niche, because that's just crazy cheap. You can go down, you can see a lot of them have packaging, which is good. A lot of them are pointing sideways. This one's pointing up, which is a little bit different and better. This is a sort of cool arrangement. Let's jump into what I would do, I think. So let's pretend we're this little pink guy down here. Westcott Classic Kids Scissors. Now, you don't really stand out. Even though it's pink, it should really pop. What I can see from this photo is that they haven't really optimized this photo. So we're going to do that for them. So let's click on that photo, and I'm going to be using Photoshop for this. If you don't have Photoshop, you can hire a graphic designer on Fiverr.com and send them this video and tell them you want them to brighten it up and make the products different alignment or bigger or better. Send them this link and have them watch this and take the same steps that I'm taking. So I've clicked on it to copy it at full size. Coming over to Photoshop now, going to create a new document and paste that in. And the first thing I do is I want to duplicate it so we can see the differences. I'm then going to come up to filter and then come down to camera raw filter right here. And it's going to bring up a whole lot of selections for me to be able to tweak the colors and the contrast and the vibrance and everything inside this photo. So I'm not a professional, I'm not great at this, but I can tweak it and see what the photo looks like in real time. So I would make it a little bit more pink initially because we want to make that pink stand out up here in that tint. So you can just grab these sliders and slide back and forth. So obviously less exposure looks better. It's a little bit overexposed at the moment, so I'm gonna actually just keep that right there on 0. If I can find 0, there it is. Contrast, let's see. Up the contrast gives it more pink. Down the contrast makes it a little bit more pale. So we're gonna definitely want some more contrast in there. We're gonna put it at +7. Highlights, you can go up and down. Doesn't really do much. Down, you can see it stands out a little bit better. Shadows. Takes those shadows away, but you don't want to wash it out too much. Whites, increase the whites a little bit. I'm guessing increase the blacks a little bit. Clarity is always a good one. You can see it really, at least on that blade, makes it look a little bit pixely because I've cranked it all the way up, but it makes it look much more sharp. So I'm going to bring that down to a 20. Vibrance, again, I'm doing this really quickly, so it may not look perfect, may look a little bit fake, but you really do want to stand out on that page. So increase the saturation. Okay, difference there. So I'm just going to unclick that to that. You can see it really subtle, but it definitely pops a little bit more. Second tip, apart from adjusting your colors to be as bright as possible, fill the screen. So I'm going to angle this on a diagonal because I didn't see anyone with their scissors on a diagonal, and I could make it have fill up more space this way because obviously corner to corner diagonally is going to be the longest length on this paper, and it's the longest dimension of my scissors. So I'm going to bring that out and make that a whole lot bigger. Now, for this product, it doesn't matter too much, but if you have a square product or packaging, make sure you bring that all the way to the edge. Don't make any spare room around that because it's just wasted space. You want to fill that up as much as possible so that when you come back onto that search results page back here, that you're as big as possible and you stand out as much as possible. So you can see they've done pretty well, but if you see, I'm pointing with my finger here, If you see just on to the right of the scissors, there's still a bit of white space between. Actually, I've got it over here. You can see there's still a bit of white space between this handle and the edge. You might as well pull that out the whole way and make that as big as possible. So I've brightened the color, I've made this bigger here, and you can see the difference between this one and this one is huge. The one you're going to click on more, I'd probably just actually flip that logo around too, so it's up the right way. Maybe flip the scissors so they're pointing the other way. But you can basically understand what I'm saying. Fill up as much space as possible, tip number 2. As bright of colors as possible, tip number 1. Tip number 3, great tip, is when you design your packaging, this is straight from the Amazon FBA Masterclass course too, this tip. When you're designing your packaging, this guy's done really well to have it in a cool little, sort of bright, but sort of like muted color at the same time, if that makes sense. Tealy green color. And that really pops, as well as this big red dot on it. You can see he's taking up a lot of the space. But instead of it just being a pair of scissors, he's allowed to use words in this because it's on his packaging. You're not allowed to put words on your photos, but if it's on your packaging, you can have words. And he's got words like security, kitty cut, which is angled towards kids, which is great. He's got bright colors. He's taking up more space. When you're custom designing your packaging, have in mind what you can do with the packaging to make it stand out on your Amazon results. One of my friends put a big pink dot on his product that's directed to females. And it's just a big bright pink dot that would have not made sense otherwise, but all he wants to do is stand out because all of his other competition is white background, white boxes. And he's got a white box with a big pink dot, and you go through the search results and he just pops out at you because of that pink dot. It captures their attention. So you want to balance between wacky or crazy packaging and capturing attention, but that's the third tip right there. So number 1, brighten your colors, make them as poppy and as eye-grabbing as possible. Number 2, take up as much space as possible, even if it means rearranging the things in your photo. If you have a box and a product, maybe lie the product on the side, put the box over the top. Make sure you can take up as much of that white space as possible. And tip number 3, when you're designing your packaging, ask yourself what's going to stand out on the search results page. Normally a square box stands out because you can make that really, really big and fit that in, but it's up to you. It depends what your competition is doing or what the listing results look like for you to decide what's going to make you stand out. If you like this video, we're going to be making a lot more like them, so subscribe now, and next month I'll even be launching a product transparently alongside with you, which means I'll be revealing my supplier, I'll be revealing my product, my marketing strategies, all of it 100% transparent right here. So subscribe and turn your post notifications on for that, and I'll see you in the next video.